Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Rick of RD Baker Photos, and throughout this 5-part video series, we will break away from our normal photography segments in order to discuss a passion I currently have for collecting Crown Royal whiskey. We will break down the collection into 4 parts, starting with the Signature Series, then the Flavor Series, the Master Series, and finally the Noble Collection. We will do a 5th and final video in this series with a few drink recipes and a recap of my entire Crown Royal whiskey collection, along with the missing pieces, as well as the way I'm allowed to display them in my home with my wife's permission, of course. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and let's just get right into it. Roll that intro. So now it's time for episode 3 of this 5-part video series on my collection of Crown Royal whiskeys. Today we are talking about the Master Series of whiskeys. These are Crown Royal special blends and extra rare whiskeys, which include the Waterloo and the Salle editions, along with their aged whiskeys and the reserved edition. The XR Extra Rare Red edition, also known as the Waterloo edition, was blended together from the final batches of aged whiskeys that remained from the former Waterloo distillery in Ontario, Canada, after a fire nearly destroyed the entire complex in 1993. XR Red is a very rare and one of the more difficult to find of all of Crown Royal's whiskeys. The Waterloo distillery was used to blend and distill products from 1857 to 1992. The Waterloo edition was ultimately released in 2006. Next, we have the XR Blue, also known as the LaSalle edition, which was distilled in Vielle-la-Salle, Quebec until 1996, when all production at this particular facility stopped. But the LaSalle distillery is still being used today for aging and storing a few of Crown Royal's fine whiskeys, like the 30-year and the 29-year aged whiskeys, along with the XO edition. But finally, in 2012, Crown Royal took the very last of the rare whiskeys from LaSalle distillery and introduced us to XR Blue. However, the first edition in the Master Series was actually released in 1992 with the release of the Reserve edition. Now, this particular whiskey has strong notes of clove, cinnamon, and rye. You can expect a new 12-year aged Reserve release sometime in late 2024. I'm being told roughly September timeframe. Now, Crown Royal currently has 3 specifically aged whiskeys that are available in limited releases, starting with the 18-year released in 2021, the 29-year, which was released in 2022 with only 6,000 bottles produced, then the 30-year, which was distilled in coffee stills, and they are the only one of its kind in all of North America. And then it is stored and aged at the famous LaSalle distillery. The 30-year age was just released in 2023, and now you can also expect a new 31-year aged whiskey sometime in late 2024 as well. Additionally, in the Master Series, you have Crown Royal's first single malt whiskey, which was released earlier this year in 2024. You also have the Golden Apple. It's aged for 23 years and was released in 2023. Then the XO Blend and the Monarch 75th Anniversary editions were both released in 2014. And finally, in 2015, they released the hand-selected barrel. But now one of the more difficult whiskeys for me to find has been the cask number 16 from 2007. It can occasionally be found in some auction houses, like my favorite, Unicorn Auctions in Chicago. However, the bidding wars can be fierce, and I have yet to win one of those battles, but I'm not about to give up. And with the exception of the hand-selected barrel and the current Reserve Edition, I have not tried any of the other previously mentioned whiskeys in the Master Series. And just like with my Noble collection, I instead choose to keep my collection sealed and in a pristine condition. I am currently just a couple of expensive bottles away from completing my entire Master Series collection. Now, next up in this Crown Royal series, we will finally talk about the Fun to Drink Flavor series. These just happen to be my favorites. We'll see you there.